Hey there, folks. This is Jeetu Padhyay, back with the extension of the first video, which was what is a bug. And today we are going to learn about the different types of bugs which we have. But before we move ahead, let me just recap or revise what we did in the last video. So we learned what is a bug. It is something that does not work as expected, and how it has to be in a form of storytelling, and how the QA teams and the QA teams also should be able to reproduce across the various environments. And additionally, we also learned the format of creating a bug. So today we are going to learn about different types of bugs, and I have prepared a basic web page that I'm going to host on local platform. So let's move on to that. I call it a book selling platform. It's got a clean UI at the first instance, which we look at it. It's got a premium dark background. I've given it a search bar. I've given it some kind of for you personalized experience. There is something which we've already read in the past and so on. But when we start looking closely to this website and we observe the various things, the various element across this website, we may be able to identify and notice a lot of bugs over here. And I've purposely intentionally put them so that for the purpose of this video, we'll be able to understand it. So start off with the first. The psychology of human is to start reading from left to right and top to bottom. We'll start off with the first thing, which is the search bar, right? Generally, the search bar gives us results from the web page, from the entire web page. For this purpose, it should ideally give us the results of different books which are available on the platform, right? So we'll start off with the search, we'll write, which is something we already see over here. That is Atomic Habits. When you press enter, okay, there's nothing that works. There's nothing that happens after I press enter to this. Okay. This is the first bug. That is the core functionality break. That is the search does not give us any result. There is no results even if I type debug, something that we are already looking at, right? It is here, but it does not give us the search results in a list format or anything. That's first bug. That is a core functionality bug. There is no button for the user to press or to click on so that the search results are given. Or even if when the user is pressing enter, there is nothing that is happening on the page. Okay. If you observe very closely, the search bar is loading very slow. See, I'm typing, but the letters are coming very slow. The psychology of, let's say, the great man typing it. This bug, okay, this is called performance bug. Now, why is this a performance bug? Is because it is a little laggy in terms of the experience that the user gets. Sometimes the letters also freeze in between, right? So let's say if I type something like a deep work related to, see, it's an experience that the user does not want. Okay, this is very slow in terms of putting in the words. This is a performance bug. Then we go on to this, that is notification. See, you can see a red. Now, generally, the red dot is a standard indicator that there might be something in the notification that the user has to see. But when I click on that, it shows no notification to display. Now, there are two issues here if you observe it very closely. One, either it's a UI bug, that there's a UI mismatch, that the dot should not appear if there is no data, or it's a data bug, okay, meaning that the dot is correct, meaning the red dot is correctly placed. There is some data, but the front end is not able to fetch it, and hence it is not getting displayed. So there are two bugs in this piece itself, which is either it's a UI bug or either it's a data bug. From the product management point of view, the product manager's point of view, you will have to then communicate with the developer to understand and do the RCA of what exactly this particular bug is about. We move on to the next one. Okay, what else do we see on this page, right? UI related bugs. See, here it is written the psychology of, however, you look at the letters Y, you look at G, you look at Y. See, these are distorted. The text is getting cut, right? There might be a possibility that the psychology of great men, again, there is one more issue here. If you observe very closely, I'll zoom in for you. So, here the title is The Psychology of Something, which is broken by Morgan Housel. But if you look at the thumbnail, it is Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. Okay, so there is some issue in terms of what the thumbnail is getting rendered and how this particular title is completely mismatching with the thumbnail. So there is something majorly broken in the code. The thumbnails are getting rendered properly, it is visually appealing, however, they are wrong. the completely wrong thumbnail. Now, this brings us to the UX part. So, UX is basically your customer experience, how the customer is going to get confused when he's going through your web page or he's going through a web application or mobile application. He's going to get confused by not being able to understand whether this is the psychology of that he's going to preview, or is it milk and honey by Rupi Kaur that he's going to preview, right? Or similarly, what he has read earlier was Atomic Habits. However, the thumbnail says Matt Ridley. But what is it exactly? Correct? So that's a UX part. So that's the customer experience, which is wrong. It's confusing. You look at this now, you definitely would have observed. Read continue. What is read continue exactly? It has to be continue reading. Click on again RCA to make sure that we solve for this. Then there are two buttons that we can observe. That is click to preview. If pending gifts, claim reward. Right? We'll click to preview. It's loading. Preview unavailable. Now you tell me what kind of bug this is. I'll wait for a second here. This might be a data related issue that even if I click on preview, it is not fetching the preview of this book or maybe the title, but there's something major breaking in the code. And we move on to the last, which is your pending gift. Let's claim some rewards. Click on it, reward claim. Okay, but what exactly happened? What reward did I claim? Right? There is no toast notification. There is nothing on the screen that tells the user, okay, that this is something that you got as a reward. So these are the various types of bugs that you may come across. And just to recap on all of those, we started off with functional bugs, right? We looked across the search results. We looked across the search bar, and then we saw that the button was not doing anything. We went across the UI bugs. Now UI was alignment issues, font colors, text overlap. Then we also looked across the UX. UX is customer experience, no clear messaging, no confirmation after ordering or getting claiming reward. This is the basic wireframe. Additional to this, which I will give you a task, is to identify what sort of bugs do you find in this particular design. It's a basic high fidelity wireframe which I've created. You can let me know in the comment section. The next would be performance bug, which we saw that the app, basically the web app, which we had, the search bar was slow in terms of taking the user input. It was laggy, it freezed, right? So time-based issue. Or when we clicked enter, that nothing happened. Or maybe it was taking a load of maybe more than 10 seconds. And we looked at notification bugs, and then we also looked at the data bugs, which was when we clicked on the preview, we did not get any preview of that book. Maybe there is something incorrect in the code or inconsistent data in terms of fetching that book, or the data was not saved, or the preview button was not working well. Maybe anything. But why am I telling you all this, and why is this important? So it's important because we first understand what kind of bugs they are so that we can prioritize these bugs, and we can say that this is the order we need to pick. We can say to the dev team as to this is what should happen. We need to ask certain questions as to, will it affect the entire user experience? Will it stop the flow? Will it reduce the engagement? Right now, in our example, when we looked across the booking application, the user is looking at this UI, and if he's saying the psychology of and then there's milk and honey, will it affect the user? Absolutely. He will be confused. He'll not be able to know which book is it, and he'll not be able to order it. He will be confused as to which book this is going to be. Is it milk and honey? Is it the psychology of Morgan Housel? Correct. So there is something that is going to break the user experience, and it is going to affect the user. So will it stop the flow? Yes. Will it reduce the engagement? Absolutely. So we need to understand how critical those bugs are so that we can prioritize them. Now, I follow a very basic framework in order to uh, prepare the entire list of bugs and also give it to the dev. So the first is understanding the bug, the module or the area where the bug is happening. What type of bug is it? Then we need to reproduce it and record it for the dev. Sometimes the recording helps the dev to understand. Instead of just writing plain English, you can click on the notification while recording and see and show it to them that there's no notification display. However, there is this red dot, which is incorrect. And then we need to write the Jira story for the same, for which I already gave the format in the first video. So this was all about what are the different types of bugs. Now I'll be waiting in the comment section for you to tell me the bugs can inside this particular high fidelity wireframe, as well as this one. See you there. Thank you.